These are joint mapping drills for walking patterns. By doing these exercises, you're going to increase the information that your brain is receiving about all the joints from our feet all the way up as we move through these gait training drills. So here we go. I'm going to start with ball and foot rolls. This means I'm going to be rolling on the knuckles or balls of my toes or feet. I can start by either looking at my foot, I can look at a mirror, or even harder is not looking at it at all and keeping your head forward. So then from here, my feet start with wide apart. I'm going to lift the heel off the ground. Then I take my weight, feel it shift on the knuckle of the big toe. My knee will drive in. Then as I circle around, creating that oval shape, my weight now goes onto the pinky toe side of the foot and the knee is going along with it. Then I create some big circles. My heel is staying lifted, so that way you should feel a lot of work in the foot and lower leg to do these ball and foot rolls. After I've done a couple in each direction, I'll then switch to the other leg. Once again, rolling on the knuckles of my toes, creating an oval shape as I circle one direction and the other. Now that I've woken up my feet, I'm going to take this to heel raises. Feet a little bit closer together, keeping the knuckles of my toes down on the ground again as I lift my heels and lower. There could be a slight sense of rotating outward, even though we don't want to lose contact with the big toe, but it's like I'm gripping the floor, slightly turning my knees outward as I lift my heels. Great, once I've done my heel raises, moving on to knee circles. So I'm going to come into a split stance with one leg forward, one leg back. I'm going to start with a front knee circle, and so first I'm going to make sure my knee's all the way straight. Then I bend the knee, take it in, forward, out, and around. After I've done some in one direction, I'll switch the direction. We're going out, forward, in, and around. Keeping my hips as still as possible to the best of my abilities. I don't let the hips lead just yet. And then I'm going to take it for some back knee circles. So then from here, knees straight, I bend it, take it in, forward, out, and around. This one usually always has a little less range of motion, so just taking it steady. And I'll then reverse the direction of that back knee circle. Heel and foot is staying planted to really work that knee and leg. Great. Now I'm going to do some hip shifting in my split stance. So with one leg forward, one leg back, I'm going to push my hips forward, feel the front hip come up, and the back one go down. Then I'll go back and forth here, up and down. Like an elevator, going up and going down. Here we go. After I've done some of these, I'm going to add it in, where now, not only am I going to shift my weight forward, hiking this hip up, but I'm also going to bend my front knee. If I leave my back leg behind me, and the hip is going down as the front one's going up, this should open up the side of the back leg. And then as you want to, maybe intensify this, the stretch on the opening of the front hip, is I'm going to take my same side as my back leg arm up and over. Depending on balance, you can always have your hand on your hip, turn so that way you're on a wall, or holding onto something as needed. If I stayed on the same side and did one more where now I'm going to be sitting back, so I still have a split stance with one leg forward, one leg back. I'm going to sit back now with a little bit of the hike still in the front hip as I sit back and reach. Standing back up. And I'll show you from a few sides. Options, you could either lift the knuckles of the toes with the heel on the ground. You can also keep the foot flat. And also, as we've done, we're using a prop, whether you roll something up, having it against the wall to lift the foot so that way your foot can rest on it as you sit back and reach. Sit back and reach. Good. Once I'm there, if I want to then put in one more round of some split stance hip circles, I'm just going to then take my hips to the side, to the front, to the back, and around. And we'll just do that one more time. Very good. And then as always, you can repeat all of these on the other side. For the brevity of this video, I'll leave that out, but you can always go back and watch. And then last but not least, we'll have some finishers off with pelvic tucking. I'm going to turn to the side and even lift my arms so you can see, but you can always keep your hands on your hips as needed. But from here, I'm going to inhale as I arch and lift, tilting my pelvis here. And then when I tuck, I exhale and round. Inhale, arch, exhale, tuck. Inhale one more time. Good. Then I'm going to find neutral of a little bit of the tuck, a little bit of the arch, and my feet are hip width apart. And I'm going to once again finish with some hip circles. Now I'm just in my neutral stance with hip width apart, toes pointing forward. And I'll switch the direction. This way we're getting a little everything of our tucking hips, hiking, dropping, and feeling our weight shift around our center. Great, and I hope you've enjoyed these gait joint mapping drills. Enjoy!